she was super young and mortified, but we had a good laugh, and I took a picture of his huge grin after his proud moment for her to use as a hilarious story later in his teen years. It was one of my favorite teaching days ever. Number 18. The weirdest one was definitely the fish in a vase they found during locker checks. It was in an unassigned locker to someone. Someone had added a lock to. Inside was a live betta fish in about as large a vase as you can fit in a locker, fully decorated. Someone had clipped a little book light to the top of the vase, presumably so the fish wasn't in the dark the whole time. No one claimed to know whose it was or how long it had been there, so it lived in the coach's office for at least that year. Somebody had been taking care of a pet fish at school. I probably would have said it's mine. I don't know. What can they really do about it? I don't know. Number 19. I teach kindergarten, and we were studying butterfly life cycles. The little guy brings in a chrysalis he found on the porch of his house. A doobie. The kid brought me a doobie and wanted us to see how long it would take to turn into a butterfly. I guess the little boy saying chrysalis, I guess. But a doobie, I'm guessing that's like marijuana wrapped up or something. That's crazy. Again, how are these kids getting access to this kind of stuff? But kids are always into something. So like if you're like have a moment of like where you forget, then the kid will get into it, you know. I'm sure if you're a parent, like you probably are like, yeah, kids just get into stuff all the time. They do. Number 20. I'm not a teacher, but I'm half deaf, and my music teacher took my hearing aid and refused to accept that it wasn't an earbud. Then he yelled at me for the rest of class for not playing in tune. I couldn't exactly tell how well I was playing since I couldn't hear it. That's terrible. I don't like that. That teacher should have known that that kid was half deaf. That's weird. Okay, so number 21. I taught fourth graders and saw a couple of them passing around a sheet of paper to each other instead of doing what they were supposed to be doing. I took the note from them, and one of the kids' faces looked as if her life was over, and she started crying and begged me not to look at it. I unfolded it to see what they were writing about. The note was filled with drawings of cartoon butts, and they told me they wanted to have a contest to see who was the best at drawing butts. Not the worst story, but definitely my favorite. So these students are just drawing butts and having a butt competition, a butt drawing competition. Whatever works, you know, when you're bored at school. Number 22. I had a student bring a live mouse to school to feed our class pet, a ball python. He had brought the mouse in the front pocket of his pants instead of something reasonable to hold it. Oh my God, first of all, there is any classroom that has a snake in it, I am not going in. I will be homeschooled. I will do school in the hallway.